Monin.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Juice in the Morning. I'm your host, Justin Juice Kelly. I got a new haircut. The people on the Facebook Live can see it. They can see all of my head rolls. Apparently, my head's gotten a lot fatter since I was in high school. But to my left is my co-host, Shane. How are you doing today, man?
Good, man. Glad to be here.
I'm loving the outfit.
Appreciate it.
We'll get into that. It's on point.
We'll get into that.
And then also back again, Ryan Kelly. How you doing today, man?
I'm glad to be back.
We're going to need to move that mic a little bit closer to the face.
Glad to be back, finally.
There you go.
Have we actually met? I don't think I remember you.
Yeah. It's been, I think, 2.5 years.
2.5 years. He was in prison.
Yeah. He had just got out.
And with us today, as my man over here is typing away.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm closing stuff out.
Is Tommy from, I guess, otherwise known as James Dant.
Yep.
A store in Irvington, which I frequent.
Glad to have you on too, because we're trying to do like more. We call ourselves Unpredictable Talk Radio for Indianapolis, and we're trying to get more of a local feel. So that's why I appreciate you coming on and taking the time to come out and talk to us.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me.
How are you today?
I'm good. It's nice and hot out.
Yeah.
I decided to wear all black today, so just went straight for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be a good Sunday.
But basically, the reason that you're here is because, like I said, I frequent your store, and it's a men's store in Irvington, and it's a place I like to go to quite often. I think the very first time I was introduced to it, I was looking for some Red Wing Iron Rangers, and I went to a Red Wing store, and they just had a lot of like construction boots and kind of stuff like that, and I was like, this is obviously not what I'm looking for. And then somehow or another, I can't remember how I did it, but I stumbled upon your store, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna go over there. So I walked in, and you were sitting there, and I asked got some Iron Rangers? He's like, hell yeah. And then you were super nice, helped me out. And so basically, for
somebody who's an idiot, what are Red Wing Iron Rangers?
So Red Wings, I think everyone knows should know what.
I know
they're like
the boots.
But these are actually good. You tell them what they are. You probably know more about them than anybody in this room. So
yeah, so most people have probably seen the Red Wing stores, like you said. There's probably 6 or 7 of them in Indianapolis, but they're all over the country and the world now. They've been around for over 100 years. So in our industry, that's considered a heritage brand. Mm-hmm. When you kind of hit that mark, you get that label, and they've been making boots and shoes in America for that long. The line that we carry that he's talking about, the Iron Rangers, are part of their heritage line, which is still made in America. A lot of the work boots and stuff you see at the stores are made in China now or elsewhere, and that's why like when people will go to the Red Wing store like he did, they'll sometimes send them to me because they don't typically have the market for the boots that they make. The Iron Rangers are fairly expensive, but there's a point behind that too.
There's a lot. I think they're expensive. Not only that, because they come with like you can get them fixed at any point, right?
So it's a lifetime guarantee, because they are so old and they're so good. Like I've heard a multitude of stories of people just walking in and being like, "Hey, I need my boots fixed." Yeah. And instead of taking the time to have them resold, if you don't want it, hand you a new pair of boots, kind of thing. Yeah. Not something they really like advertise, because obviously like they're a business, they need to make money, so they can't just replace shoes all the time, but they come with that lifetime guarantee, so if anything ever goes wrong, and that's really the value in them too. Like you'll see dudes that have had these boots for 15, 20, 40 years, pass them down to their kids, and you can resole them. So
and I've told people I'm like the worst when it comes to keeping clothes. I have nothing that I owned. I mean, 10 years ago, I have nothing from then till now. Like I just throw stuff away or I lose it. I just have problems.
Well, I have nothing but good things to say about these boots. They're pretty awesome. If I could compare them to anything, like to give people like a mental image, I mean, obviously you can Google them, but they're basically like what I would think like a steel worker or something would wear like in the 50s or something like that. That's just kind of the idea. And they have a very old school look to them, and like the dirtier and more scuffed up they get, the cooler they look. Yeah. And if you take care of them, and like you told me when I first bought them, if you oil them and take care of them and take care of the leather that's on them, you can have them for, like you said, for 10 or 15 years, which is crazy.
Yeah. A lot of boots that you see out there, like they look really great at first, and then as you wear them, they start to lose a lot of that patina and shine. And And even if you do take care of them, like you're probably going to throw away a pair of Clarks in a year and a half.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the get for these boots. Like dudes are sick of buying boots and tossing them when they go bad.
And you can be as rough as you want on them, and they only get cooler looking. And then if they get to the point where they're not wearable anymore, you can get them fixed, which is kind of crazy to me. And that's worth spending the $310 or whatever they are, which is crazy to some people, but I think it's worth it. One of the things I want, instead of talking about just specifically one thing that you have at your store, we could possibly get into some other things and like maybe explain to us like the origins of James Dant and where everything kind of came from and the idea and the kind of clothing that you have for people.
And the rumor about the name too. I want us to hear about that too.
Yeah, so I guess it all kind of started when I was fairly young. I was like 13, 14 years old, kind of the age where you start really going to malls by yourself or going and looking for clothing with your friends, and we just kept running into stores that weren't really built for us, shopping places that just didn't market to men. Like they didn't give a shit about the men's side of the store, and so that's when like the first sparkle of like I could open a men's store someday came into play.
At 13?
Yeah, like it was. I mean, it was one of those.
That was not anything I would be thinking about.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was going to do at that
awesome,
point,
though.
but it was one of those things where it was just like someday down the line when I have a bunch of money, I'll open a men's store.
Kind of planted a seed.
Yeah. Planted a seed, and it just, I mean, it grew worse and worse as I got older. Like I at some point expected a store to open like mine, and it never did for 10 years.
Yeah,
10 years on, I was still wondering where it would be, but I wrote a business plan in college for it. I was kind of still, like you said, I had this idea in my head at 13, but I was just a typical college kid. I had no idea what I was going to do, and I switched my major to business and wound up in the entrepreneurship program because I was just at this like crossroads. Like if I don't know what I'm going to do, I might as well write this plan now. And then again, it was always like a future thing. Like I'll open it when I have $100,000 laying around when I'm 60 or something, you know. But as I got through it and like vetted it out and wrote this 124-page business plan, I'd put in all this work that at a like certain point during the program, I felt like it would be a loss to just not do it. And I didn't know what else I was going to do. I'd spent so much time the past 2 years working on this massive business plan. And so I got out and I really had to kind of scramble and I guess, the opening of the store was not exactly what it is now. Like if you would have walked in year one, I don't know if you came in our first year or not, but we've doubled our size since I did
come in when you just had the first part of it, and then I kind of saw through social media the
transition,
and then I came in and saw it for myself and saw that extra room and all the extra stuff that you put in there. And what I want to say is it's kind of crazy, like walking into the store, it's not like anything that you've ever seen in terms of like the way things are decorated. Like there might be a time where you have like a bicycle hanging on the wall, or you have an actual motorcycle sitting in the front room of this, like, and you can get things from like rings, knives, hats. Like it's just kind of crazy because like I remember my girlfriend saying the first time I walked in here, and I told you the last time I was like, if I could shop anywhere for the rest of my life, it would be this place because like, awesome. Because it just hones in on everything that at least style wise that I like, and I feel like it has that kind of like manly man thing to it, but it also has like that part of you where you can take care of yourself because they have like everything from candles to beard oil to, and then you got over here, you got knives and all this stuff like that makes, I don't know, any guy a badass, and then just badass boots on the wall. And then also something else I want to talk about kind of was the raw denim thing and explaining to people like what exactly raw denim is and where it comes from and how like kind of cool it is, you know, to sell it, because I don't think a lot of places do. So
and what is raw denim?
There's so many things to explain.
What makes denim raw?
I'm basically just not washing it, like in its most simple form. So all the wash denim that you see with the faded marks, and they've like taken a Dremel tool to it and beat it up for you, basically. Raw denim is that dark, deep denim that you see dudes wear. And the whole the history of raw denim is insane. There's so many denim heads out there, and like even being a shop owner that specializes in it. Like there's dudes that know so much more than I do.
You were kind of telling me
people
one
that
time
geek out on it.
that I was in the store
crazy.
that they had like something about I'm gonna butcher this bad, but something about a war or something, and then they had certain machines that they don't have anymore or something along those lines.
Yeah, so basically denim was created in like the late 1800s, like 1885, 89 or 90
In Canada, right? I'm just kidding. The Canadian tuxedo. No.
Yeah. So when it came about, it kind of blew up because before then everyone was wearing trousers and like really like dressed up when they went out, and denim was kind of the start of the casualization of the way we dress. So from the like 1890s to 1940s, America was known for their denim and making denim, and it was really, that's all there was raw selvage denim. That's what you bought at Tractor Supply. That's what your grandpa wore. Like they bought that shrink to fit 501 stuff where you get in the bathtub with it. And so what this is, and since like 2002 and even before that,
that's so crazy just to think about that, getting in the bathtub to fit your pants.
Yeah, people still do it.
It's like in high school with football with the mouthpiece that you put in the like oven for
boiling water,
like a little bit.
Just imagine them sitting in the bathtub. No, I'm not finished yet.
You know your jeans.
It says 10 more minutes.
So is this either a good thing or a bad thing? Is when you get your jeans and then you take them off and your legs are blue? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's probably bad. It comes off, but that means there's lots of indigo in the denim, which means they're going to stay darker and prettier for longer.
Okay, and
That
I've
means
heard
you
that
did
you're-
it right.
I've heard that you're supposed to wash them inside out so the color lasts longer.
I've legit never gotten blue on my legs and never also washed my stuff inside out.
Yeah. So if you want if you get tired of your jeans getting like that, like, and you probably don't even really notice it because you don't remember what they look like when you first got them. But the only reason I remembered is because I am one of those people that will buy jeans, and if I really like them, I'll go buy another pair of the same jeans.
Yeah.
And when I kept doing that, I was like, these aren't the same jeans, but they were. They just got a lot lighter because I was washing them the wrong way. But if you turn them inside out, they'll keep their color longer.
Yeah. Isn't there something about putting them in the freezer too or something like that?
Yeah,
Like,
it's kind of like a myth about it. The only thing it does is it like qualms the stink for a little while until like they heat
until
back
they
up.
heat back up.
Yeah, like
Oh, God.
but yeah, it's like from the 1940s on, all of our denim production went overseas, and so in the early 2000s, a lot of these companies started coming back and producing it in America, or buying it from producers in America, and then constructing the denim in like their garages, and it took off. It got a cult following. People, mostly because of the quality of it over anything. Like it sounds crazy to people to this day. I was reading reviews from one of my vendors, and people will get on there and troll like crazy. Like, I'm never going to spend $220 on denim. I don't care what it is. It's luxury, blah, blah, blah. But it's once you have a pair, like there's no going back. It's one of those things where like you won't wear other denim. And we've seen that through the store, like the proof of it.
That's how I feel about the boots as well. So
yeah.
Something I kind of, we were talking about how $220 for a pair of jeans, something I kind of want to talk about, and you've explained this to me before, but I wanted to explain it to someone who might walk into James Dant for the first time and kind of look at some of the prices and just kind of see that some things are expensive there, but there's a reason kind of behind that. And, you know, I just wanted you to kind of explain that so people get an idea when they first walk in and kind of get like, they have like a, you know,
less of a shock.
Yeah.
or just like a
There's a lot of
idea
sticker
before
shock.
you.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of thing where in LA and San Francisco, there's not a whole lot of sticker shock there. There could be from like tourists, but it's all about like cost of living there and all of that. Won't get into, but in order to open the type of store I wanted here, and for people to not have that feeling when they go to other states, like, why don't we have one of these here? I had to go with these brands that they were carrying elsewhere. And the thing is, there's no price difference.
Right.
It's the same in San Francisco as it is here, but housing there costs like $1,800 for a room.
Exactly.
Where here it's like, my mortgage is $800. You want me to spend $220 on a pair of denim? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's all about the people that are making it, where it's made, how it's made. Like, not finding a note that says "help me" in your pocket, like sewn into your pocket from China.
Shit.
Like that kind of stuff happens.
That's
with
crazy.
Like,
That's insane.
yeah, like so many people have moved to the cheap method of buying clothing, H&M and all that stuff. And you really, like, the first step to understanding why our product is more expensive and all this product is more expensive is like thinking about where it came from, the origin of that garment. And that's like, if it was made in America, it's gonna be expensive. We don't have the infrastructure we used to create this clothing. And so for people to bring that back, there's processes. There's $15,000 sewing machines. There's
well, not to mention, like, I mean, the number one reasons most companies go overseas or go to different states, taxes. So that's probably a big factor in how much things cost as well, because not only are you having to make something at a more difficult process, you're also having to get paid a bunch of taxes to the United States government instead of them kind of relaxing those laws so that those companies can come back and produce things at a cheaper price too.
Yeah.
And I kind of like,
and I don't want to get into politics because we're not like big on that unless we have somebody that's an expert in politics in here. But but that's just the way I feel.
If Spangle was here, we'd figure this out.
Yeah, and I just hate the fact that we can't create things here because of the cost of doing it. Doing business with the government.
I mean, I get schooled all the time. I had a guy come in the other day that is like an expert in vintage sewing machines, just hanging out in Indianapolis, and he was schooling me on why sewing machines aren't made in America anymore. And like, again, it's all tied into politics and tariffs and all of that. Like, that played a huge role after a war, like we were talking about. But yeah, I won't butcher it because it's very in depth and like something I would love to do more research on. I just know a lot of our clothing industry moved overseas.
Yeah, definitely look it up on Google, like sewing machines, why they're not made in America anymore. And you can probably find it. And
then just in terms of like sorry, I had like I have a stutter now, guys.
Sorry, I don't usually call you on that.
No, I did it to you last week. Did you remember? Do you have any good, like, we haven't done Judgment Day in a minute,
right?
So like in a couple weeks, so we'll go ahead and get into that. We're gonna play the little thing we got for it, and then we'll get into possibly some retail stories that you got that have been like.
Do you want me to explain the James Dant thing first before we
do that first, and then we'll do Judgment Day.
So yeah, the name for the store, I was working on names for the longest time, and I finally just figured out that James Dant kind of sounded like James Dean, and that's a huge like callback for anybody who's from Indiana in general, and people who love James Dean.
And he looked like a badass.
Yeah, he's an iconic like blue jeans, white shirt, like that's who he was.
Rolled
the
up
leather
sleeves.
jackets, the motorcycle culture, all of that. Like, it just made sense that almost subconsciously people would hear James Dean when they heard James Dant, but luckily enough, it was actually my name.
Yeah.
And somehow people across the country now, people that I work with vendor-wise, people who've been to the store from elsewhere, got this notion that it's my grandpa's name, and it's not. It's my name and my dad's name.
Yeah.
I was named after him and born on the same day. So it's a
that's
little
crazy.
bit of,
you were born on the same day as your dad?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it was a little bit of an homage like to him. And I wanted to keep the family name in it too. Like, we have ties to J.W. Dant whiskey. Mm-hmm. So like I just like the last name Dant, and I wanted to put my name on something that I was going to be.
And I mean that name in general, like I'm not like kind of blowing smoke up your ass, but it just sounds like a cool like clothing company name,
like James Dean. Yeah, it sounds
like
pretty.
It's awesome.
Pretty rad ass.
Rad ass, dude.
You guys got any like Vans sneakers over there, bro?
I've actually been thinking about carrying Vans again. Are you wearing them today?
No.
They're closed.
They look like it.
Yeah, Jen
are those shoes for cruise?
Shoes for cruise.
Are they?
Yeah.
I have those same shoes.
Really?
For those that don't know, Shoes for Cruise are non-slip shoes that a company that you can order shoes off of for work, and they're not.
Shoes
like,
for
anytime
cruise.
you get like.
That's what it's called. I don't know why it's making me laugh.
Well, it's like anytime you go get non-slip shoes from Walmart, they are the ugliest shoes that I've ever fucking seen in my entire life.
I used to have the 2 weeks. I used to have the Velcros. That's what I used when I worked.
They have
at
like
B-dubs.
paint on them. They like to peel off.
Oh yeah,
that's like a whole fucking thing. Like, shoes that are built for dudes who are on concrete all day, they're always the ugliest shoes in the world.
I'm like, come on, man! If you make a cool looking metatarsal. You know what a metatarsal is?
That's your toe, isn't it?
A metatarsal boot, I think, is like when it covers the top of your foot.
Oh, okay,
it's like a steel-toed top of your foot, as opposed to just a steel
I've seen
toe.
Those.
Yeah, so
and they weigh a lot.
And they look like you're like should be wearing like a meat cutting outfit with them on and like holding like a giant meat cleaver or something. But anyway, Shoes for Cruise is kind of cool because they sell shoes that look like Vans. They sell shoes that look like basketball shoes, like.
But you're still compliant with the OSHA, right?
Yeah, I don't know about OSHA.
Yeah, who cares?
That's safety, right?
I don't think it's OSHA.
But
I
you
think
can
it's like machinery and stuff, and like forklifts.
I mean,
and shit
OSHA's in anything with safety.
Okay, well,
OSHA compliant.
yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
You lost me with that. Yeah, let's do.
So, Judgment Day for listeners or viewers is a segment that we haven't done for a couple weeks. Basically, if there's something in your life that is pissing you off, or on the flip side, if you have a good judgment for something, we've been kind of doing that as well. So let's get into it.
It's time for Judgment Day. This is the part of the podcast where Juice and Shane judge the notorious idiots that surround us all. It's important to note that one of the guys doing the judging once shot himself in the dick.
For real?
It's the Juice in the Morning with Shane podcast.
What do we have today, guys? Listen now.
First of all, I never shot myself in the dick. I did not cheddar bomb myself.
We gotta explain to all our guests, like, no, he didn't actually shoot himself in the dick.
But no, that all programs are different loudness too. That like blew my eardrums out.
Yeah, it was loud.
So I apologize for that. But Ryan was wanting to start this off with his judgment this week. I want to hear it.
All right. So last night, I'm a bartender. We had this server. She's a little overweight. There was this table of like early 20-year-old dudes, just a bunch of bros. And I guess all night they were like laughing at her, and she could tell like they were making fun of her because of her weight. And she's carrying a tray of dirty dishes, and one of the dudes tripped her purposely.
I can't believe that
she
somebody,
fell.
I can't believe
and
somebody didn't like get them. Like,
I'm like, she told me about it like after, like the night, like right before she left.
Yeah.
And I was like, "You got to be shitting me right now." And
If
like,
I was a manager,
my
I'd
buddy
be
was like,
"Get
"Dude,
the fuck
oh
out."
for sure."
and never come back.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I would have known, I would have like thought of something I could do, like not like attack them, but like you know, just walk up to the table or something, carry like a glass of water or a tray of waters,
And spill it on them.
and then like go to reach down and grab something from their table. Oh, oopsies. Oh, sorry. And just walk away.
That's sad that.
But
we live
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I
Can you
can't
believe that?
I cannot believe that somebody would do that to another human being.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been mean, like, but I was like 13 years old when I was mean, I think.
Yeah,
Like,
these are grown ass men.
like, I don't think I've ever, and I would never do it to somebody in
Something
public.
with a maturity level is not all there
Yeah.
with the guys at Cheddar's in their 20s.
Yeah, right.
Making fun of obese. Like, what the fuck,
Yeah.
dude?
Yeah.
I don't understand
Well, I mean, I went and saw the Four Horsemen last night, and there was a big guy that was like stood right in front of me.
Yeah.
And like, I wasn't making fun of him, but I was like kind of joking with my friends, like, because I was like kind of like, this guy's right here, so now I'm like having to lean around to see what I was looking at earlier, and like people were laughing, and then he looked at me, and I was like, oh, I'm joking, dude. You stood right in front of me. That was
that. Is this
all.
in the mosh pit?
Yeah, and the funny part about it was people would start moshing like back and forth, and the security guard would just like walk in. He was just like this giant of a man, and he would just like walk in, not moving or anything, and people would be like bouncing around, and they'd hit him. He wouldn't move, but they would like fall back, and then they would just like stop moshing, and then they'd start again, and he would just kind of lumber in there like
Best security guard ever.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have to do anything. He just walks into the crowd.
Just his presence.
But yeah, like I mean that kind of like treatment of other human beings is just I can't even imagine that like being my friend. I would have like told him to get the fuck out of here.
For sure, yeah.
So good judgment. Fuck those guys.
Fuck those guys.
And explain to people what the Four Horsemen thing is.
The Four Horsemen is a Metallica tribute band, and they rock your face off. They're awesome. I mean, the negative that I had, which is just basically taste, and when I grew up, because when I started listening to Metallica, it was kind of like the late 90s, early 2000s. These guys play strictly the early 80s through like the latest song they may play is like 1990. So like they play all of the old stuff from Master of Puppets. I'm trying to figure out I can't remember what the first album is, but they teased me a couple times with Hero of the Day, because that's one of my favorite Metallica songs of all time. The guitar player would play the riff, and I'd be like, yes! And then the singer was like, I don't know that fucking shit. And then they would like start rocking out hardcore on something else.
Did they play From Whom the Bell Tolls?
Yes,
Oh
they
my
did,
God,
and I
that's
lost
like
it.
My favorite.
I actually did know that one, so
Yeah,
that's
that's like
pretty
one of my favorite. That probably is my favorite Metallica song.
They did that. They did, but they were really good. There was a kid that opened for them actually, though, that was like, I want to say he was like 11 years old, but he was just like wailing on the guitar and singing like AC/DC songs.
11 years old?
Yeah, like he was the opener, and he plays for a band here in Indianapolis called the Arachnids, and it's a bunch of kids that are like 10, 11 years old that are like heavy metal rockers. Like it's badass. It's so cool. And this kid was just so poised at being 11, like standing up on stage talking to people, and like he was like even in the middle of the songs he was like pointing at the ladies in the front row, and like I was like, oh my god, look at this kid.
Took a page out of the Yodel Kids book.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
And my mom was like, that kid's got like girls from 10 years old probably to 40 here in this restaurant right
You can
now.
wail on a geet.
Yeah,
you know.
And the funniest thing was the camera guy that was there taking pictures of him said he wasn't even the guitarist in his own band. He was the drummer.
Wow.
And that he plays like 3 or 4 different instruments in other bands too.
That's insane.
It's just crazy to think. Like when I was 11 years old, I could barely dribble a basketball with my left hand, let alone play guitar.
Very specific.
People out there that know basketball, man, dribbling with the left hand. If you're right-handed, it's hard as fuck.
Yeah, I don't play basketball because I travel or what's the other thing? Double dribble.
I can just picture Shane with his Brazilian jiu-jitsu background, like playing the wrestler style of basketball. When I used to play, play like one-on-one with my buddies that were
like
wrestlers.
Super aggressive,
like throwing you around, like not ever dribbling the ball.
Like doing it with my dropping bows on people.
Like really low stance because they're real flexible. Like.
I was just like,
slap the ground.
I just get the ball and pass it. I was a really good what's the help like when you help somebody get a basket?
Assist.
That's I was all about just passing the ball to everybody and helping them, and then they give it to me and they're like, shoot, and I'm like, no. I don't wanna. And I didn't want to move because I was like, I'll double dribble or travel, so I'm just gonna stay here and find somebody open.
But yeah, the judgment I had was, I think it's a positive judgment. It is the fanny pack slides by Nike that they're getting ready to release. So the fanny pack's making a comeback, and now they're putting them on sandals. So I think that's a good move. I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are.
So like an athletic sandal that has the one strap that goes over the top of it, it just has a bag on it, which resembles.
How big is the fanny pack? Is it like
the way
a zipper that just like...
The way they described it is you could fit your keys and probably like small items like maybe a phone charger or something like that.
Well, do you remember those shoes that they had they had a zipper on in a pocket? What were they called?
I don't know those.
Anybody remember those? They had a.
I bet Ryan
They had a
had a pair.
kangaroo on them. They might have been called roos.
Oi, you got them roos? Hold on, I gotta go grab my roos.
That's totally British.
That's definitely British accent. You were going for Aussie though, weren't you?
I was.
It looks like a little tiny fanny pack.
They're actually not that bad,
Dude, I'm buying them. There's actually a GoFundMe out there on Facebook.
God.
So if you want to donate to the cause of getting me a pair of those,
I'm just
go
gonna
ahead and
see
check it
you
out.
wearing those.
just for convenience, dude. I mean, come on.
That's
That's awesome.
Nobody has pockets.
You were going to lose. So you lost clothes before. Now
Shane.
you're going to lose so much else. All the shit that you stick in your clothes, you're going to lose.
Yeah. You're telling me you have pockets on your Speedo. So when you go to the pool,
I'm more likely.
I know you probably stick your money down your front.
Yeah, I mean,
that bulge.
You know how girls give like boob money to people? I give sweaty ball money.
You go to a public pool and you're just like, oh, how much for that hot dog? Oh, here, hold on. Here you go.
Let me get a corn dog. And
It's like, ring it
let
out.
me get that all for you. Blowing pubes off your ball money. But I do want to ask for some like retail stories that you can be good judgment, which I'm guessing there's probably not a whole lot of those, I guess, but the ones that probably stick out are probably more of the negative retail, like people coming in and asking for obscure things and or people just doing weird shit in the store. I don't know if that's a thing, but
Yeah, I think the main thing, like the biggest like problem in small retail across the board is people just asking for discounts up front, like without doing anything, without knowing you, not knowing the store, anything about it. Like get emails and messages about stuff, and it's like,
and they don't even know you.
yeah, they like, would you go into H&M and say, hey, can I have everything in the store 15% off? No. So why do people want to do it? It's like there's memes all over the internet about like you're willing to spend $300 on a pair of Jordans, but you can't support your friend that like opened a store for full price. You expect a discount.
Right.
So I mean, that's one of the main ones. Like if you walk into a store that you've never been into before, and ask for a discount, you're a douchebag.
And you're supposed to be supporting local businesses and things that are like brought up here in Indiana, not asking for discounts and whatnot.
And and it's kind of similar with like the bartending thing, because I used to be friends with a lot of bartenders in Muncie, and they would be like, one of the first things that pisses me off is when somebody asks for a free drink and they don't know me at all. Like, because they used to give us free drinks all the time, but like I never asked. I just was like hanging out with them.
I get that as a
and
server
tipping
a lot.
them well.
It's like people like I'll make a small like mistake, like, oh, I forgot your ranch. Like, can I get a free beer then? I'm like, that's not. Yeah. Those don't really equal out.
Oh, you got me.
Man, you had to wait 15 seconds for your ranch. Man, I better get you a free beer. Like,
I just want you to be like, here's your ranch, and throw it at them and just like splatter all over them.
dude, I don't know
if
you probably know this, but if a condo, or I don't know what you call them, we call them ramekins, and or a monkey is the bigger one.
Yeah, ramekin.
So if one of those things hits the ground,
it goes everywhere.
it's like a fucking bomb. It goes it like literally goes out.
That's what you should have done next to the douchebags.
Fire in the hole.
Seriously, it's like a frag
if you're in like
of ranch
Yeah.
or whatever is in there.
Thousand Island.
Yeah,
If you're in like a 10-foot radius, you're getting fucking. It might not be much.
you're
but-
getting splattered.
But if you're like right by your feet, it just goes like all the way up you. I don't know what it is about makes it like. We won't talk about that much
true.
longer, but I just have always been amazed. Like as soon as I drop it, I'm like, fuck, I know. Like it's gonna be everywhere.
It's like putting a spoon under the water spigot.
Exactly. Exactly. Perfect example.
So we've talked about this on the podcast before of stuff that I continue to do and I don't learn from it.
Yeah, I'm
the
28
spoon
years old.
under the faucet with peanut butter on it. I'm like, this is gonna work this time. No, it never does.
And literally,
I'll get the angle right this time.
literally all the peanut butter fucking stays on the spoon. All that happened was you got soaked.
I wonder how it's gonna go this time.
I have like the little spray nozzle on my sink or whatever, and like when you let go of the lever, it continues to spray for like 10 seconds.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure why it does that.
That's weird. That
but I'm
shouldn't do
so
that.
stupid. Every single time I use it, I put it back as it's still spraying, and it's like it's spraying the front of me, and I never learn from that. It's a perfect example of just
that's
not
good.
learning from.
That you continue to do. Because the other one that I do, and I've talked about on the podcast before, is I always put my keys in the pocket. Like if I'm carrying a
On the
bunch of stuff,
opposite side
if I'm
of-
carrying
yeah.
a bunch of stuff to the car, I always put my keys in the pocket that I need to reach for, but I can't because I have all my shit in that hand.
Yep.
So I have to like try to reach over, and I'm like, how have I not
Have you
learned
tried to
from
do
that?
the back pocket where you try to get this hand, your right hand in your left back pocket? You're like, ooh.
Yeah.
And you're like, you just know your neighbors are watching you. They're just like, look at this idiot
this
over
guy.
here.
It's always
What's he
me
doing?
holding my 3-year-old, and then I'm like, got the keys around here somewhere.
Look how far we've evolved.
So
If I had that fanny pack on my shoe,
There
I
you
could
go.
just
Do you just
pull
kick it
out,
right up
yeah.
there?
Flip it up into my hand and be like,
and you'd look rad ass, dude.
Rad ass,
So we're gonna judge the dudes tripping the waitress. We're gonna judge the sandals. Is it a consensus that they're a cool idea or no?
I'm gonna pass.
Okay, well,
I think
it's-
you would.
Same.
You
I'll
with,
wear 'em.
you with and I don't know him that well. I don't know Tommy that well, but I'm gonna say he's gonna pass as well.
I don't know. Are you? All right.
I don't know. You're
it's-
gonna have these in your store next week, right?
So I'm gonna say it's a draw. It's a draw.
Right off the shelves. Just
The judgment's a draw. We're gonna have to take it back to the what's where they go back and deliberate. That's what they're gonna do.
The drawing board. I don't know.
No, they're gonna go back to deliberate. Shane, do you have a judgment day for this week?
Yeah, I went to a wedding last night. I don't know if this is really good or bad, but I felt really bad for the DJ.
Oh, okay.
And
Elaborate.
You always want to take care of your DJ because he's literally giving you 90% of the fun that you're having and playing all these rad ass beats.
Giving you the gift of music.
Yeah, nothing like the gift of music. But anyways, we had this tent, and it was fine when it was still light outside, but he was outside of the tent and by the tree line. And it got dark, and he was just standing in the dark. And we're all under this tent, with lights and the music and all this stuff. And he's just over there with, headphones like we have on, doing the little, taking them on, half off, half on, doing the little,
I don't know what that helps. I can't
I don't
figure it
know.
out.
I don't know either.
Maybe a popular DJ did it one time, and then everybody else thought they should do it,
And
but
then,
it actually does
I
nothing.
just felt bad because he was standing in the dark. You couldn't even see him. All you could see was, the little bit of light coming from the board. And then I'm just why is he not in here with us? And or we're not contributing to asking him for stuff. We're just acting like this guy isn't here.
It's like a new DJ gimmick, kind of like where Dead Mouse wears that big hat. He just is always in the dark and nobody sees him.
And then I felt really bad because his car died. And then I went around this, we were on a 4-acre farm type thing, and I went all around asking people for jumper cables, and went and got my car and drove it up into the grass to his DJ booth. It was just a strange ordeal, but I just felt bad for the guy because he spent his whole night in the dark, helping us all have fun, and then we're just his car fucking dies, and he's just standing out in the dark and shit.
He lost himself.
So I'm not sure.
Music.
I guess I just want to judge whoever at that wedding just decided to have that guy, basically standing in the tree. He's probably getting mosquitoes because he's right on the tree line. He has little spiders coming down him, and
he gets drug off into the woods.
You just hear no, you know the sound the when you stop the keyboard real fast and it goes. It's quieter. And they do that
turn the music back on. What the fuck?
They're just and then somebody just goes over there and hits play, and they're go back. But I just thought I felt bad for the dude. But he was super nice, and I don't know. That's just kind of my judgment. Whoever decided to put him in the
get
corner.
a longer extension cord. That's probably what it was.
I don't know. It's he could have. It would have been so easy to just
move his table up just a little bit
more forward, and we'd just been and he could because they would play a cool song, and we'd be we didn't know who to thank. You're oh, there's no DJ, but he was out in the dark, so you just had to kind of point to the darkness.
If he did any
I think the problem was they had too long of an extension cord. They tried to get his ass out from the wood.
They just have a wall, and he's on the other side.
Yeah, they're all right, how far can we get this guy away from the party?
They actually just needed an iPod and put it on shuffle.
Maybe they thought he was creepy looking, and they're we gotta get him somewhere.
Let's get him out of here.
Can you wear a mask? No. Okay, we'll put you out by the
Marshmallow with a big giant helmet on,
or Dead Mouse. I guess would be the one.
There's so many of those too.
And what's the 2 robot dudes? Anyways, I know you kind of talked about people coming in and asking for a discount, but do you ever have anybody? I know in Irvington it can be kind of. I know that strip right there is super nice and cultural, and everything's kind of coming to that because you got Blackacre and some other nice establishments.
The restaurants,
yeah. So do you ever have people from a few streets over, more in the hairier part of town, make their way to the street, and I know for a fact that a lot of times you have your front door open.
Yeah.
So do you ever have any kind of weird situations?
I mean, that's the best part about Irvington. That's why the Halloween Fest is so great. And we're known for it. It's because it's sketchy. There's weird people all around, and that's kind of what makes it what it is.
For sure, yeah.
But yeah, when we open the door in the summer, spring, fall, we get some craziness, and we've had theft here and there, for being a small shop out on the fringes of Indianapolis.
Yeah,
we don't get the traffic to have teenage girls stealing earrings, things like that.
Yeah.
So when someone hits us, someone stole $600 worth of denim from us.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Jesus.
Judge that asshole.
Was it 2 pairs of jeans?
Yeah, 2.
I was and the thing is, we're batting 100. We've caught, or batting 1,000, is that what it is? Yeah, batting 1,000. We've
about to say you're batting 100.
100 really bad. Batting 1,000. We've caught everyone who's stolen from us.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
They picked someone up at the Steer Inn the other day that stole some gloves from us. So we do a really good job, and it's you think they'd eventually talk to each other and know that we have the best damn HD cameras in the city.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you work with Martin Riggs? I mean,
No.
how do you catch them? How do you know?
It's
That's a lethal weapon reference.
That's what I was that threw me off, and I should have known.
Should have caught it. Just
See,
right
I
over
thought
my
of it.
head.
I thought of it right when you said Riggs, but I was he's not. Is he talking about a real cop, or?
Because he's the crazy one who runs after everybody, catches them.
I'm too old for this, Riggs.
Well, if anyone's listening, hopefully they found that funny. Apparently, I'm not with Lethal Weapon fans.
I love the movie.
All I can remember is Mel Gibson contemplating suicide in his trailer or whatever he's in, and he's has a gun in his mouth, and he's being real.
Oh yeah,
that's the very
and
first.
And then you have the
first
Eric Clapton's guitar solos.
There's some like sax in there too, like
Yeah.
like, yeah. That was more of a horn.
Yeah,
I don't know what that was. Not a sax.
Anyways, sorry,
man.
So how do you catch them, like just the HD cameras and you see them
So-
clearly walk out with your shit?
Typically, like when someone comes in that's going to steal some shit from you, you can tell. Like when they're asking about $300 denim and they have no idea what it is and they scoff at your prices, they all have like little routines, especially the ones that are like trained in it. So we go back and get footage typically afterwards. We've never caught anyone in the act, which is kind of shitty, but they wind up going to jail for it. So I guess that's a little bit of vengeance.
Well, they deserve it.
Yeah, and so
Nothing worse than a
we get the
thief.
pictures down, and I have to do basically the detective work myself. Like the Indianapolis police have a lot more to deal with than theft.
Right.
Like there are people shooting each other all the time. So
Yeah.
when I send them something, they're like, "Hey, if you have evidence or a name or whatever, let us know. We may have some pictures that we bring in and show to you, and you can get them." But every time I've posted the picture on Facebook, and the first time we did it, the first time someone stole something major from us, we had 70,000 hits on it.
That's
Like,
insane.
and the funniest part of that is like, I post cool shit all the time and I've never gotten 70,000 hits before, but like somebody steals from you and the entire city jumps on it.
Have you ever seen those posts that people do on Facebook, like, make this asshole famous?
Yeah.
And it's like somebody that did something fucked
People
up.
are very like vengeance driven. Like,
especially when it comes to social media, they're like, oh, I get to find somebody. I don't have to really do shit except like know this guy. You know what I mean? Like help out with this. And then people love that.
So you are on Facebook and all that stuff. So is it? How do they find it on there? Like if anybody's listening or watching.
yeah,
or whatever.
so Facebook's pretty easy. You just type in James Dant will
Yeah.
pop up, but I think the backs or / for that is James Dant Men's Clothing. They won't let you change it after you set it up.
Yeah,
I
I
set
know.
that up
I
way
miss it,
early,
yeah.
which is
Yeah.
nonsense. Instagram is James Dant _ store for men.
Nice.
And then we have Twitter. We're not on there as often, but Twitter and all the other ones. Basically, if you go to Google, like he's got it pulled up right now, we have an in-store view and all that
Nice.
shit that'll direct you everywhere.
That's
We've
awesome.
got it all linked.
Can
Hell
we
yeah.
put a URL to his?
Yeah, we'll put that
online-
on.
'cause
We'll
it's
put that on
on
Facebook.
Yeah, it's online James Dant if you Google it. But yeah, we can. I was searching through it, and I wish I had seen some of these Indy 500 shirts before Indy 5. He's
I
got
came
some
and got
really
one.
cool.
Yeah, that one's
I
about
should've.
gone.
I really like there's a baseball sleeve.
That's the
or
one I
3/4
want.
I
sleeve
got that one
shirt.
for my mom.
The Raglan, yeah.
I came in and got one for myself, which was like the T-shirt with the red and blue on it, and then it was like a heather gray almost. And
Yeah.
then I got for my mom probably the one that the Raglan that you're showing him right now.
Yeah.
And that's when I initially came in and talked to you about being on the. And then yesterday I was going to a wedding, and that kind of explains the shirt. Yes, I'm wearing the shirt I wore to the wedding yesterday. I don't give a shit. It's $85. I'll wear it whenever the fuck I want. But it's basically like I think Hawaiian shirts are coming back, dude. I think it's
Oh, yeah.
happening. Yeah, they're coming back.
Activity
And
shirts.
Activity shirts.
That's what they're called.
I had some old guy come up to me last night like Tommy Bahama, and I'm like, it's like don't ever fucking say that to me again.
It's like Forgetting Sarah Marshall, where that old man, he's like, he's just like, fuck.
But they had so many cool ones in there. It was hard to choose from which one I wanted to get. But there's like a bunch of these like floral ones in there. I'm digging
Florals have fucking, I mean, spring, like
Yeah.
florals always blow out of the
It was
water.
either that or because it was so hot to wear a tie yesterday. It was inside. I was going to wear a suit, but I have a floral tie as well.
Nice.
Because those are in.
Ooh.
And I've been rocking that, but it was way too hot for that yesterday. And I felt so good about wearing this yesterday because everybody else was so fucking hot and sweaty and like dying. And I was like dancing and felt good. It was
Rocking
cool.
out.
Yeah, I was good.
I don't know what it is. We should judge outside weddings in May too.
Oh God, yeah.
Sorry if anyone here got married in May outside.
It's like anybody want to go to hell today?
Yeah. Well, actually, we got married in October, and it was like 6 degrees outside or something.
Oh, shit.
Really?
And we
that's
because we planned it. We planned it for October 17th, and the year before October 17th was like 72 degrees. The weekend before our wedding was 70. Our wedding got there, and it was literally like 30 degrees outside.
I'm judging people that have barn weddings in like June, July, May because it's like.
What about August though here in Indiana? Like I went to
August,
a
dude, it's
wedding
like-
that I was in August, and it was outside, full tuxedo.
Like I get that. I
have sweat running down
Yeah.
into the crack of my ass
Yes.
from the top of my neck.
I get like having the actual wedding outside and then going inside, but when you're like at a barn wedding, it's like, oh, let's be really hot out here in the fucking sun, and then go into like an even more hotter, like closed-in thing where we're all sitting here hot as
It's
fuck.
like a greenhouse
with no insulation, so they can't put AC
No,
in
and
it.
they're like, they got a ping pong table. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that. I just want to get like, where's the AC at?
Where's
Like,
the fan?
yeah.
I was at a barn wedding last week, and they had AC in the bathroom, so like
Everybody's
I peed like 30 times that night. Like,
You're breaking the seal again and again and again.
I lost where we were at. I'm sorry.
That's okay. We got lots and lots to talk about. I kind of want to talk about this little fine skateboard we have here on the wall. We finally got it up on the wall.
It looks dope.
Mark has been just killing it with all the just with everything lately.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's a social media darling.
Yeah, darling. I don't know that you wanted to call it a meme, but he has this really funny video that we posted on our everything
Facebook
account,
page, yeah.
Instagram account,
Yeah.
and basically it's him with Dave Matthews. I'm not even, what's that song called? Yeah.
Crash?
Anyways,
no. What it was?
you're just saying random shit. It's not crash into me or what? I don't know.
It's not.
Anyways, all Dave Matthews songs are the same.
Yeah, they all sound.
Yeah, you know the one with the fiddle. Okay, it's that one. Now everyone knows what fucking song it is. But anyways, he like cracks a beer at the perfect time. He's sitting in a kayak. Yeah, I always get kayak canoe mixed up. I had to make sure I was right. And it's just a hilarious. I don't know if it's a meme, but
It's the video of the summer. Is
I
what
reshared
I
it onto the
described
page, so
Yeah.
just if you're listening, look
and
at
not
the page.
only
Boom, it's
that
right there.
did we finally got our. Well, we had the skateboard. It just took me a while to bring it over here. But this is our Dilemma skateboard. You can see in the live feed, and this is Mark's art that's on it. And
It's not ants marching, is it?
It is.
Yeah.
it
hey,
is.
can you shut up?
Sorry.
I'm trying to get Mark
I
props
just had
here.
to find it. Just had to find it.
I hate to tell you to shut up on your own podcast, but
Don't worry. The song's probably going to start here in about 2 seconds. too, so I'll
anyways,
interrupt
I'm
you.
gonna hurry up and say it. Mark's skateboard is up. His graphics on there. It's forever gonna be here now, and everyone can see it in the live feed from now on. And we've got it up, and we appreciate the dude from Dilemma Skateboards and Mark's amazing artwork, and we're glad to have it up there and promote anything and everything that dude does, because I would say about 99.8% of everything he does is hilarious and or really amazing, like whether it be his art.
One of the pictures he just posted on Instagram reminded me of a movie I just watched on Netflix called Annihilation, and it's like a naked chick with like a tree growing out of her like neck. It's pretty cool.
And he said, I didn't understand the caption because it said like lunch doodle turned ink or something like that. And I didn't really.
I think he was like, the way he described it, at least in my mind, was he was probably like doodling on something and then actually painted it or like put it on.
Oh, okay.
on
So he
something.
like had it like a little rough draft and then put it into.
That's what I thought. But
That
hey,
would-
Mark, let us know if that's what it was or not.
No, that makes sense actually. Now that you say it, yeah. So shout out to Mark for always giving us all the good stuff, man.
Yeah, and just Facebook, let us know if that is crooked or not, because I think it looks straight up and down.
Promise you didn't put it up 2 minutes before we went on.
Yeah, it might even be. We didn't start the live feed yet, but we were like putting it up as we were.
Yeah, getting ready.
Like we had him come on and we're like, hey, just wait a minute while we
Yeah,
hang
wait
shit
a
on the
minute while
walls.
I decorate.
Why does this just say SOB? I didn't write that. Did you? Oh,
No, you definitely wrote that. I did not.
So
write that.
no, it's Solo.
Oh yeah,
You
Solo.
wrote that.
Okay,
Yeah. Did you go see a movie?
Yeah, so that's a really good transition. I like that. So, no, I went last weekend. We went and saw Solo. It's the new Star Wars movie. Unfortunately, I feel like Disney is just fucking the death out of that franchise. Like they're just putting movie after movie out using the intellectual property.
Well, they got to make back their $4 billion they spent on buying the rights to Star Wars by having all these like.
And the standalone movies are good though. Like I'll go out on a limb and say that Rogue One was like, that was hands down one of my favorites. That's my favorite Star Wars movie since they started making Star Wars movies again. A lot of people like the actual main story, like Return of the Last Jedi and stuff like that. I know it's super nerdy, but I loved Rogue One.
Everyone gives me shit about that.
I loved Rogue One.
That That's my favorite movie ever from Star Wars.
wow.
That's
Star Wars
awesome.
series.
Good.
People give me shit. They're
You
like,
mean episode
you
1's
knew
not
it
your
was
favorite? With Anakin Skywalker and those...
Jar Jar Binks.
Misa Jar Jar Binks!
The worst
Wow.
character to ever exist. But did you have you seen?
I don't know. That's debatable.
There's a theory that Jar Jar was actually a Sith Lord, and like if you look it
Yeah,
up, there's
I
like
have
all
seen
kinds
that.
of descriptions of why that's
then-
the case.
What about the one...
that would have been the easiest cop out for Lucas ever, and he didn't take it.
I know.
Like he wasn't like, yeah, that's what I meant to do.
Exactly. They could
I
have.
wonder if like the first time he saw Jar Jar Binks on the screen, was he like, fuck? Like Misa, like just that fucking crazy, like, blah, like his head's always bobbing around and shit. Like,
There's a video of them like discussing the movies. They do like a private screening in this home theater, and they stop halfway through, and they like, I don't know the exact quote of it, but like he was like, wait, what do we do? Like we gotta do something about this. Like,
and there was such a weird, like, he lived in that underwater, like,
Yeah,
he
the
had to go
underwater
to
city.
the globe, or I don't know, it was fucking weird.
But yeah, so Solo, my suggestion is still go see it if you're a fan of Star Wars movies, because it is entertaining. It's fun to watch. It's cool to see, you know, the Solo, what is it, the pre-story to figuring out like how he got to where he got. I wanted to see more of, because the whole theory or the whole like story behind Han Solo is he was a member of the Imperial Army at one point. They kind of just like really go through that really fast, and like I kind of wanted to see more of like his training and stuff like
His
that.
origin story a little more.
Yeah, and you know, it's still an origin story, but they just kind of gloss over that really
Am I
quickly.
mistaken, or is there a scene where like Chewbacca like kisses a girl Chewbacca or something like that? Or,
there's in the trailer. There's
yeah.
I don't remember that.
That's kind of like weird to me. He's like,
And I don't want to ruin it, so I'm not going to say anything about it.
She hot?
yeah, dude. She had hair in all the right places. Yeah.
But and then
the Boba Fett's come. They announced that they're gonna make a Boba Fett movie.
see, I just hope they don't ruin that, because
there's so much there.
What I want to put out there is the Solo movie. The guy that played Han Solo, I don't even know what his name is. I think that he played a poor Han Solo, and Donald Glover played an awesome Lando Calrissian. Like, it was just like he was the coolest character in the whole movie.
Hopefully,
What about the Game of Thrones? What's her name?
Khaleesi?
Yeah, Khaleesi. What about Khaleesi? Was her performance pretty good?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't even tie that together.
Is
That's
it
who
weird?
was.
Dude, I watched her in
That's
this.
crazy, because she does like a really good job of making me not think that she was like just reenacting the stuff from Game of Thrones. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
what
even really notice it was her.
So it was strange to me because I saw her in this movie. It was weird. Like, me and my girlfriend watched this movie where this guy's like in a wheelchair and he's like paralyzed from like the neck down, and she's like his caregiver, and they fall in love and all this stuff. It was so fucking weird seeing like her go from like Queen of Dragons to like this nerdy girl that's taking care of
Was
this.
that the Stephen Hawking movie?
No, but
Okay.
it's kind of similar to that. But this guy's like this really, like, I don't know, awesome person, and then he gets hurt, and then he's like super sad that he's not. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But the point was that like it's weird seeing her play another part, and she played this like real dorky, like not very sure of herself. And then in the Game of Thrones, she's like very like
badass.
like I fucking know exactly what
She
I
has
want.
like 16 names.
Yeah. Jesus.
Chainbreaker is part of it. Yeah. But yeah,
Solo was good.
Boba Fett will be, I think if they do it right, it'll be super awesome. And if they get the right person to play it that has a little more acting skills than the guy that played Solo.
Yeah, and somebody said that Lando should have his own movie. I don't think he can stand alone with his own movie because of how quirky and weird his character is in the movie.
But it would be nice to see him in more things.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
As
Lando, yeah. They're gonna do a shared universe because that's what everybody's doing.
Yeah, like I said, they got to make their money back at some point. So,
Yeah.
Ryan, you want to talk about the 500 because you were the only one of us to actually go to that.
Yeah.
How was that?
Oh man.
I went to Carb Day.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it was really fun. So this is the third time that I camped out all 3 days.
Oh shit.
Well, not all 3 days. I went
Sounds exhausting.
Friday.
Full on.
Got there Friday morning. Like my plan was to like Uber over there. I live really close to the track. I live like it's a 15-minute Uber ride. So that was my plan. And my roommate who was there, he stayed there the night before, and they got the camp
On
set
Thursday.
up. Yeah, he came at like 9, just loud as hell, like had already been drinking. He's like, "Oh, Ryan!" like banging on my door. He's like, wake up, I'm taking you to the campsite. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. And then I'm like, I'm not even ready for this. I had to pack up my stuff real quick. And then once I was up, I'm ready to go. It was a beautiful day.
That's the worst when people are like, hey, come, like, I'm like, I can't come to the party until I get off of work, or I can't do it. And they're like, come later.
rushing.
And I'm like, fuck no, I'm not coming later, because all of you guys are going to be trashed, and I'm going to be super annoyed by how trashed you are.
Yeah, for real. But, yeah, I mean, Friday was fun. Just drank too much beer. For how hot it was, and I tried to be responsible. I got a lot of bottled water, and I was like, had like one hand bottled water, one hand a can of Miller Lite.
Did you see any crazy shit? Like anything weird happen?
No, not really.
Something weird happened with Ryan. He was trying to do a flip on something.
Yeah. So I did a
somersault.
Gainer.
Would it be
Gainer would be backwards.
somersault onto a girl doing like some stripper moves.
It could have been so bad too. Like you could have straight kicked her in the face.
I know.
Somehow you.
But I did.
She could have gotten CTE.
I almost did. I actually did that move 5 times to the same girl. Shout out to Caitlin out there.
Also, I bet at the 5th time she's like, all right, fucking get it. Okay.
She was sport. Yeah. So
She could see it coming.
I didn't want to do it 5 times. I did it, and then people were like around our camp spot. Someone would see it, and they'd be like, "Dude, that was all. Do it again."
She's got like bruised hips.
Yeah.
I can't believe that you successfully did it 5 times without knocking her out.
So is there a video of this somewhere?
Yeah, dude.
We'll show it to you.
But so then Friday was cool. Went to the Carb Day concert, and
Who's the band?
Blues Traveler, which I love. Blues
I
Traveler, Blues Traveler and Train, but no, because it was hot as hell, and there was a bunch of people you could barely hear.
I see in you, wonder if I'll.
Yeah, so that.
Sorry, I had to dig.
That's not
the guy with the.
That's not even Blues Traveler.
It's not. Who's that?
It's similar though. I will give you that.
What's
He's
the?
got the harmonicas, right?
Yeah, he used to be really fat.
That's
and
a
then he
song from Flipper that you're singing. Remember Flipper? Oh, classic.
I mean, yeah, it's about Dolphin, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
you know
about all I
exactly what it is.
yeah.
But that's the theme song that
I'm more of a Shamu.
But it was as if they just put a speaker down and played like Blues Traveler live set and like put a mic like 5 feet away from the
The sound quality was terrible.
It was really
barely
bad.
right. You could barely hear it. I'm like, are they playing Hook yet? But you could barely hear it. And it was just like, all right, what the hell are we doing here? And then they were done. We're like, all right, we'll wait for Train. And it's fucking hot. It was like 95 out and like huge crowd. And Train's Train, had the whole Blues Traveler set. I don't know what goes into this, so I don't want to be too judgmental.
Right.
But I mean, hurry up. Like this isn't. We're not at Verizon.
I only speak for myself.
October.
But I'm not a huge fan of Train, and
Everyone was just waiting for
bounced.
Drops of Jupiter anyway.
I was gonna say when you said wait for Train, I was like, said no one ever.
No, I know. I see, and that's what I was like, dude, fuck this. Like I don't even care about Train.
I
so
do know Drops of Jupiter.
but we bought the
have,
tickets and we're like, all right, if they play like their 2 hits, like it'll be cool. It'll
I
be
know
fun.
Blues Traveler, and I really want to know what song I'm thinking of if that one wasn't right. I know like it has like harmonica in it for sure.
Run Around.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That one. But anyways, all right, Shane.
I don't know what that was.
Hey Shane, just stop interrupting me, please.
Hey, anyways,
so we left, and because it was like 30 minutes later they didn't come out.
Right.
So we're like, what are you waiting on? So we walked back, drank more, and then.
I can tell you what happened at the Train concert. It was.
Did you stay?
Yeah.
So how long did it take? An hour 45 minutes for their
Fucking
dumbasses
too long.
to come out?
I don't know.
Yeah,
but
why?
they covered Led Zeppelin songs, which was really strange because he actually
That is strange.
his voice is very good for that.
Yeah.
Like he could have done an entire Led Zeppelin concert. It
That's
would have
cool.
been better than the Train concert. But that, and then they covered something else at the end, and then played Drops of Jupiter, and like left, and everyone was like, "Okay, let's go."
All right, we're done. Let's get out of here.
That's annoying. I
pretty
mean, you
sick.
kind of got to plan that out. Oh, it's 95 degrees outside. Everybody's intoxicated. People are probably dying in porta potties right now.
Yeah.
Maybe we should hustle out there
Let's
to the
wait
stage.
for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I love it.
They're just hanging out in their
You're
air
not that
conditioning.
big of a band. Like they're like, oh, dude, you're waiting up. Dude, they're ready for it, bro. But let's make them wait another 30 minutes.
And it's not like they were rather like Trey.
Yeah, dude. It's like, dude, look at that crowd. They're here for us. Like, yeah, because you're the only fucking option. Like, no one chose you.
And their game plan, I think they know that they suck because their game plan was like, let's play a bunch of songs for another band.
Yeah.
End with the only thing that we're known for, and then get the fuck out of here.
Let's cover one of the most legendary rock and roll bands.
Let's get our $2,000 and get out of here.
Well, since it was so hot, do you think they were just chilling on their air-conditioned bus or something? Like
Maybe they were contemplating. They're like, dude, we could just
pretty hot.
leave. We could
pretty
definitely leave
It's their
right now.
breaking point. They're like, I don't know if I can fucking do this anymore. If I have to sing Drops of Jupiter
Yeah.
one more time.
They waited for
goddamn
Blues Traveler to come
time.
back. Blues Traveler's like, fucking tough crowd, bro. Like, no one's listening to us. Most people have their backs turned. Dude, don't
Sometimes
go.
I don't understand why they book those kind of bands. Is that all they can get? Because like they'll
I
do.
think so.
What's that?
Not like their budget can be light. Like it's the fucking
The race,
Speedway.
right?
Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like when they have like at Military Park, they have whatever it's like Meat Fest or whatever it is. They always have like Candlebox and shit I've never heard of and like
You
random.
haven't ever heard of it?
Candlebox?
I have for
Candlebox
sure,
is
but
the
it's like
shit.
Yeah.
you're fucking full of yourself.
Dude,
No.
Shane's a nerd.
All right, Train.
I like Train too. No big deal.
Really?
They have the song with the mandolin. Like they got up and he had playing his little.
That sounds cool.
Sorry, it wasn't Maroon 5 this year. Dad.
Hey,
It's not cool.
I'll be honest with you. I like Maroon 5 better than every band you just said. So if that's it,
Blues
think about
Traveler's the
myself.
shit though. I
They
like
are
them.
cool. Yeah, if I can remember their song and not sing something else.
If we could hear them when
That's
they're
true.
playing, like,
That's definitely
I was
like
really disappointed
that's
with
definitely
that.
like a band thing too. Like their equipment maybe was not set up right or something. But anyways, so how'd Saturday go?
a lot of the same.
Same.
Just
Party.
debauchery and sin.
There's no like thing to go
Debauchery.
to on Saturday though, so you're kind of just like.
Yeah. I mean,
In
we went to
flux.
the Sam Smith concert.
Oh, there was a concert.
Or not Sam Smith. It wasn't Sam Smith. It was Sam Hunt.
There you go.
Can you
Some
imagine
Sam.
the people in George trying to listen to Sam Smith?
I think it would have been better than
To be
Sam
honest, I
Hunt.
don't know who Sam Smith is.
I think it's
It's the guy that sings,
country singer, right?
Well, Sam Hunt is the
No.
country singer,
Sam
right?
Hunt's country singer.
Do you know Mike Hunt? Sorry, I'm five. Cockroach milk. I want to talk about someone at
This
the
is
wedding.
something you definitely don't want to drink while you're at the 8500.
No, milk was a bad choice. Someone brought up this to me last night at the wedding and said that we should talk about it on the podcast, which is funny. But there's this thing out now. It's called cockroach milk, and it's actually milk from a cockroach.
It's not like the pulp of the cockroach. It's
How do you
actual-
milk a
a
cockroach?
certain
Do
kind
they have
of-
nipples?
Well, let me explain it to you, there, Ryan.
Stop interrupting me.
Yeah, let me play Shane real quick.
Cockroach milk may
Hey, wait a
become
minute.
the next superfood. Cockroach milk is sourced from the Pacific beetle cockroach, a type of roach that gives birth to live offspring and produces milk, which it feeds to its embryos through a brood sac.
A brood sack.
Oh, God. Essentially a cockroach womb. Oh, God. Let's just say words
So
I don't
milk
like to
from
talk
a
about.
sack.
Can you milk me, Greg?
Damn it, fucker.
I have nipples.
From cricket-coated donuts to insect-laced ice cream, we thought we'd heard it all, but study has found that cockroach milk could be good for you, containing 3 times as much energy as dairy milk and packed with essential amino acids.
Don't give a fuck.
That's right. Put down the soy milk, matcha tea, and pour away the turmeric. Okay,
Turmeric.
what does it matter?
Turmeric.
But let's be honest. So you guys drinking cockroach
No.
milk? Would you
All
try
out.
it? Would you try it?
Not at all.
Fuck no.
I would try it.
I mean, I guess if I was like, there was a, I don't know, if it was like, hey, I'll give you $5.
Yeah,
you try
like a
this.
dare.
I would try it.
I
just to
wouldn't
try
be
it,
like,
think.
I
guess
need to
we're
get
gonna
some
do
of
some
this.
cockroach milk tonight.
It's not going to be part of my
No,
diet.
the tweets and the comments are kind of funny about it.
Yeah, I'm tired of eating my grasshoppers dry and crispy. Pour over a little cockroach milk, though, and yum.
There was one talking about little tiny hands, which I liked.
little tiny hints.
Because you have to like to be able to source it.
Oh, like
they were talking about. Well, they were talking about to source it. It takes like scientists like it's an extremely like difficult process because you're like sitting there like kind of removing this sac from a cockroach, and like to get like I think 100 grams, you have to like it's like almost 100,000 cockroaches or something like that just to get like a very small amount. So no matter what, if you want to talk about something that's expensive for the amount of work that you put in,
milking
that shit's going to cost a lot.
I don't know. I just thought it was super interesting to talk about because I didn't know that this was a thing.
There's too much that's a thing
and
now.
Very specific.
There's always a thing.
There was just like, hey, you know what you should talk on your podcast?
Yeah.
Cockroach milk. And I was like, well, now. And then I just immediately drunk texted you and was like, did you see how wrong it was? Like, look at this. Like, it was just. But anyways, what else we got, fellas? I don't think I have too much more on here.
Shane said, no, you said cockroach milk, and you put a little milk, like a milk glass emoji.
But then look at the ones that.
How long did it take you to find
what?
the milk glass emoji?
I put.
If you type in milk, it comes up next to it.
He said, we need to talk about.
And then the one after that is wrong too.
Yeah, look at about it. And he says, LOL, look it up.
Yeah, I finally got like more sober.
So it's like 5 messages.
Yeah.
You will go through, like,
And then I sobered up a little. I go laugh out loud because I laughed at what I had typed and was like, look it up.
Cockroach milk, we need to talk about. Look at about it. LOL, look it up.
Also, I want to talk about that night that we went to Top Golf and we were down there drunk as shit. I texted you and was like, podcast tomorrow. And you were like, what?
It's like 2:00 in the morning.
It was, but I get like so amped up when I'm drunk talking about the podcast that I was like, yeah, let's get this thing. Because we were talking about like, well, there's things we're going to do to make it better. And then I'm like, I'll fucking get him on tomorrow. Because it was like a Saturday and he just it was like, disregard
the text. No, I also saw something the first time ever last night, a drag show. Oh, never seen that before in my life.
I've been to one back when
was it merged with the Metallica cover band?
No, it should have been though.
Just like dudes with fake boots and tassels.
No, I'd just never been to that. So like, also at the same time, like I saw people like throwing dollars almost like at a strip club, and I was like, man, I need to go get some ones or something, just because I was like, if I'm going to be in that situation and I'm intoxicated, maybe even if I'm not intoxicated, I just want to be all in on whatever's going on. So like, I was like down to like throw $1 out there, but the bar was so busy that they couldn't get me my dollars, so we just ended up drinking. But yeah.
I went to Talbot Street back when it was open. It's a gay bar. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. It's on Talbot Street. They closed it down, but when I went there, I went with like a buddy from work who's gay and a big group of people from work, and I was like, you know what, whatever. I'm pretty open-minded or whatever. So I go there, and they had a drag show, and like it was very aggressive, is what I remember from it. Is like the guys that were dressed as women would go around to people that were clearly uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, because they like that.
And then but their thing is like, so I will like weird you out and make you feel uncomfortable. So you'll just like, oh, here's money, like here's my dollar bills, and that's what happened. And I fucking like, and for whatever reason, I was wearing like a fucking peach colored shirt, and I was like, why the fuck did I wear this? But anyways, and they just kind of harass you a little bit. I don't want to put them down or anything, but it was like, oh god, just get away. Here's all my money, but like you give them $1 and they'll put their hand back out.
Yeah.
And it's like if you go to like a strip club, they're just like, okay, you gave me what you gave me.
They're just moving on to the next person.
Yeah. So I just thought it was like
they're turning and burning them.
Yeah, turning and burning them.
No, and it was a funny situation. Jen went to the restroom and was in the restroom like pulling her pants up, and somebody was like Snapchatting her, like fucking with her, and then a drag queen like bursts in the door and is like, hey, I'm trying to wash my makeup off my face, and like, so the video is just very short, but it's like Jen doing this move and this person with their face in the sink, and then the person videotaping just cackling laughing. It was pretty hilarious.
It's a weird experience. Yeah. Much better when you're drunk. Like I bet it was like okay because were you drunk?
Oh yeah,
and you were just like, this is all fine.
Yeah, and it was the Monkey Tail in Broad Ripple, yeah. Monkey's Tail, and they had also karaoke, and the people that sing there are really good.
Yeah, that place is known.
I would not go up there and sing karaoke because of how good they are.
The place is known for especially that cool little patio thing that they have.
Yeah, the patio is pretty
all
sweet.
All lit up, and they usually, if that's not nice, they'll have it inside, and it's a lot smaller inside, and the bathroom's like right by where they usually do it inside, the karaoke and stuff, so it's nice when they have the whole patio open.
And it was awesome.
That place is kind of like a little hidden gem of Broad Ripple because it's not on like the main street or anything. It's kind of off to the side.
Yeah, it's like around a corner because we were trying to like find it.
And past the Casbah or Casbah or whatever.
Casbah.
Yeah, and take a right, and there it is.
But yeah, Broad Ripple is a crazy town. Like it's just like that little strip of like. There's just so much going on.
I went to the Monkey's
all the
Tail one time, and there was a guy on the dance floor, and he had an oven mitt on his hand. And he was just like doing this weird like oven mitt hand dance, and I'm like, yeah. And so when you just said Broad Ripple's kind of strange, I'm like, yep.
And last night was really weird. Like, and people are, I mean, typically pretty nice, but for some reason, like everybody was like super nice last night. I don't know if it's like the time of year, it's the weather, or what.
Just go to Brothers and go to Douchebag City,
Right.
and you'll.
But I'm just like walking. I'm just like walking by people, and this dude's like, having a nice night, right? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like just be safe. And I was like, will do, man. And like kept walking.
Thanks,
But
man.
That was one guy.
His
and then
name
when
Brian Titus.
Is your life a sitcom?
I guess. And then I got to the Monkey's Tail, and there was like this girl that was just like chatting the fuck up with me, like and waiting to go to the bathroom. I was like, what's going on here? Like most people are normally not this nice. It's the haircut. I changed my hair, and now people are nicer to me.
You're a lot more approachable now.
I guess I feel like it looks less approachable.
Did you have dreads before? Like,
No, it was just
Yeah, he tries to make it sound like he had this crazy hair, but it really was just like
It's normal.
It was like 3 inches on top, and
well,
then the
come
sides
on.
are the same.
This is extremely different.
I mean, I wasn't gonna make a huge deal about it. I don't think he looked that
No,
different.
it's just the head rolls that are driving me insane.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
that's from getting old, I guess.
I don't have any head roll remedies. For
And
you.
and Eric, the guy that cut my hair, told me it was from getting fat. So he's like, you just have a fat head.
I think he just gets a kick out of saying you're fat. You got a fat head, because I don't think that's what your head's not any fatter. You don't look like you have a fat head.
It's possible. Who
Like it
knows?
doesn't go to your gut; it goes to your head.
Just don't get that credit card thing on the back of your neck.
oh my god.
The, like hot dog neck.
Credit or debit.
Get it pierced.
So what kind of places do you frequent? I mean, I don't know if you go out and do those kind of things and drink. Obviously, you go to the 500 and listen to some sweet bands. But besides that, what kind of?
I can't stand him coming at Blues Traveler like that.
I like Blues
know.
Traveler.
And Train.
He's really
Fuck Train.
It really bothers him that Train played.
If I knew
Yeah,
that,
there's something that happened that he just does not like Train.
it's a trigger. It's a trigger.
If you someone who will openly say, "Oh fuck yeah, dude, I love Maroon 5," will just nope Train, nope. It's like on the same playlist.
It's like Drops of Jupiter, and I'm like, fuck, turn it off.
Yeah, it's like a trigger. There are certain bands for me that are like that though. I'm like, no, fuck you.
Dude, I'm like, whoever fucking put this on.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes on and your eyes go directly to wherever the music is being played from, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
I didn't
You
mean
see
to
some dude.
interrupt you with all this. That's what we did. That's what I
With
just
my
did.
Train vendetta.
I was just gonna
If
go
I knew
real
that,
quick.
if I knew the lead singer to Train, I'd be like talking all kinds of shit. But nobody knows who it is, so go ahead.
I actually
So-
live in Irvington, so I spend a shit ton of time at Blackacre. It's
Oh, yeah. It's
so
like-
good.
yeah.
I don't know how he does it, but my friend Ruby, who is one of the head brewmasters there and owner, like has this fucking incredible palate. So everything they put out is good.
Yeah.
So there, if I'm staying in Irvington, but we spend a lot of time in Fountain Square.
Yeah. Sure.
Go see shows at the Hi-Fi.
Yeah.
I like the Brass Ring a lot.
Yes.
Mass Ave, not as frequently anymore. I used to spend a shit ton of time at that little bar that just had like a skyrise put up next to it. I guess that doesn't really help because that's all of
Chatterbox.
Chatham Tap.
Chatham Tap. I know.
Well,
yeah.
no, is that right?
No, because I thought Chatham
It's
Tap was like Noblesville.
Or is it the corner bar?
I don't know why the fuck I can't remember it. It's College and Michigan. They just put a big green building up next to it.
I don't know, but there's a few places on Mass Ave I like was it Bakersfield is pretty cool, but it's always super packed and hard to get in there. But they have like PBR for $2.50 year round and that like cool boot glass. So I'm always down for that. And then across the street is like Ball and Biscuit if you want to go have like a badass like old fashioned or like a feel like, and it's got like a dungeon kind of feel to it, which is a cool place. And then like I said, Fountain Square, all those places you said I love, like the Brass Ring has like been around forever and it's always like a cool little spot.
Kuma's Corner with the burgers.
Oh, yeah.
So
It's-
good.
if you want to feel like I don't even know what, like you can't walk after you
Yeah,
eat.
exactly.
Yeah,
Burgers
if you
are
want to eat
huge.
a badass hamburger and listen to death metal, Kuma's the spot.
Go there.
And then the Thunderbird's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that bar in
That's where I was yesterday.
Fountain
Actually, after the
Square?
show.
That's like they built it like a speakeasy.
Is it Brass Ring?
It might be where you go downstairs and it's
underground.
It's like the theme is like
in Fountain Square.
Yeah, it's underground. Yeah,
I'm
pretty sure it's Fountain Square. It might
you
not
might be talking about Mass Ave, and you're
It
talking
might
about
be
the
Mass Ave.
Libertine.
Libertine, yeah.
Libertine.
Yeah, I think it's the
maybe that is.
Libertine. And they
'Cause
actually moved because they used to be on another like downtown street, and I went to there the first time, and they moved it to over by Mass Ave, and it is very like
It's under where
This is a
Pizzaology
really-
used to be.
Yep,
It's a really cool
underneath
concept.
there, yeah, and like it is very speakeasy-ish and cool, and like you can go.
I don't
feel
know
like
if it like
swanky. I
was
like to say
a
swanky.
speakeasy or whatever, but it's like how you get down there. It's
Well,
like
we went to the Repeal Day party downtown, and there it was in the catacombs, and that was really cool. But I was also really thrown off because every bartender there was trying to like put their spin on like a classic cocktail, which like just make the classic cocktail because that's like what I'm here for. And so they were like,
Everybody's a mixologist.
it was like a margarita Manhattan or something like that. And I'm like,
it's the same way if you go to like Hotel Tango and or Thunderbird. It's very like like all the dudes there. They're not bartenders. They're like mixologists, and they're very like.
and I like to try
and
new
they take
stuff.
so
but-
much pride in the fact that they can make like I know that and this has nothing to do with like a mixed drink, but I went there and like the kind of shit they have is crazy. I went to Thunderbird around Thanksgiving time, and I had a shot of I think it was like Jim Beam or some kind of whiskey with a shot of gravy as a chaser. Gravy, like warm gravy.
Nice.
fuck?
Yeah, and I was
I'm
like,
down. I'm down for that.
It was
They did
good, and
one.
it was good.
They did one for a while that had like a fake cigarette hanging off the side of the cup.
That's awesome.
Like,
That's great.
I know that.
with lipstick on it.
That's
Like they do
awesome.
it up.
Yeah, and they
Hell
have
yeah.
those giant tiki drinks too. It looks like it's a tiki man. And
That's
it's like in
what's
this
so cool
giant
about Thunderbird, though. They do like
Yeah.
themed months.
Yeah.
So like they did a Miami Vice one a couple months ago, and it was fucking.
That's
killer.
awesome.
That's awesome.
They always have chicken and
I
waffles.
want to
too,
wear. I want to
which
wear
is-
like a shirt like Shane, but like leave it unbuttoned.
Yeah.
and go to the Miami
I have
Vice
a
one.
buddy that worked at Thunderbird.
with a gold chain as well.
gross.
Worked at Thunderbird. His
Oh, I
name
already
is
got that.
Brian Berzart, and he also works. I think now he works at the Libertine. So he's
name
a
sounds
mix.
familiar.
Yeah, yep. Just a guy that frequents that area. I guess I went to like middle school with him, so I kind of know who he is. But that's what kind of what we want to get into. Like here recently, and that's kind of why you're kicking us off and helping us get on here and start something new with the whole like making note of places in Indiana that people might not necessarily know about, and like if you have a certain like vibe, and like I mean people will always say like Fountain Square and those kind of places are like more hipsterish or whatever you want to call it, but like for every person out there there's a cool swanky like cool, like place that you'll enjoy going, and whether it be from clothing or mixed drinks or music, like the hi-fi places, like people may not necessarily know about places like that.
I think it's just more of a personalized experience. Like that's what's happening here. Even like, I mean, you can't stop people from loving their chains. Like they're gonna love them. But if you go to Thunderbird, you're gonna have like a monthly menu, or and we've just really grown in the last 7 years. There's a ton of cool people. They're the people that shop at my store too.
Yeah,
and like
exactly.
We all
Yeah.
support each other.
Yeah.
We're all the money stays in the economy.
And that's kind of where we want to come from, like a podcast point of view, is like we want to be in that mix of people that support each other, and like be able to like let people know about these cool places that they might not necessarily know about, because like
90% of our listeners are in Indianapolis,
and
or like Indiana,
and and going to like Taps and Dolls or something like that shit gets old, and it's exhausting, and it's like I can't go down there and rub against all these people and go this giant and pay.
I like rubbing against people.
And, dude, I just want to do that like when you when you get the basketball and you're like, "Rah!" Like I want to like I don't like the crowd
I wear
thing.
really thin swishy pants with no underwear.
So I feel everything.
And then paying like these $10-$20 covers on special nights, but you go to Fountain Square and it's chill. You don't ever see a lot of fights. You don't ever see any of that stuff on like Fountain Square or Mass Ave. Broad Ripple is a little iffy because they got a few places down there, but even Irvington is like an up and coming, and it's been around for a while, but they're opening all these cool little spots to go hang out, and yours happens to be one of them in the clothing range or whatever. And we just want to kind of like put that out there, and like I said, I want the realization of what the way I felt the first time I went into your store and seeing like, wow, there are places like this that I can go get like clothes that that I see people like on TV, or just someone that has a lot of style wearing that you wouldn't think like I can't get this at Zoomies over there. I can't get it or PacSun or Zoomies or whatever, and I just think people should know that those kind of places are out there. So
Well, yeah, absolutely, and the whole point of trying to become more integrated with the community is just because that'll be easier to create content for us, and then also we can hopefully push people towards you guys and kind of follow that same model that you guys already have that you've talked about, which is being, keeping that money in the economy, being like, supporting each other, because just by, guests coming on and sharing our episodes or, telling friends about it, it just grows that base of people that might check it out, and then they're scrolling through our episodes and they'll see we're talking to an MMA guy this week that they may like that or they may not, and they'll skip past that one. But then we're talking to you, and then maybe a couple weeks from now we're talking to somebody that's in politics or something. It's good to have a wide base, and I want to keep it here in Indianapolis to start with, so that we can kind of expand and then kind of go a little bit further from there.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys are broadening your portfolio.
Yes.
It's a good sound.
Did we have any comments on the Facebook Live? No.
That's okay. It's Sunday and it's beautiful outside.
And
so.
people are probably like chilling and stuff. It's weird because sometimes people get on there and watch, and sometimes people don't. But people end up watching it later.
And I was gonna say, do you feel it's okay to throw out the address of the store and have people come out? Obviously, but I want to promote you as much as possible.
Yeah, put it all out there.
Yeah, so we are in Irvington. We're in that main strip there if you've ever been before, but if not, it is 5624 East Washington Street. You will know it when you see it. There's like the Starbucks is kind of the landmark for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's just a really cool neighborhood with houses from the 1940s and 50s. So there's a lot of stuff to walk around and do afterwards. Yeah. Great time of year to come out is during the Halloween fest. That entire month.
I gotta check that out.
Is awesome. Yeah.
We'll have to go to that. We could even do like a little interviews and whatnot.
One of our plans is I want to do a podcast at a haunted house, like a legit haunted house, not just
they
like
do
going
ghost
in.
tours and stuff in Irvington.
I want to do that, so we need to find somebody.
Really get on the interviewing people too, because people like on the spot say some of the funniest shit ever. Like I even watched, like you brought up Jimmy Fallon earlier, and it's just funny like when they do those, like even him and the other dude, what's the late night guy that used to be on
Kimmel?
Yeah,
Jimmy Kimmel.
He does those like on the streets or whatever, and asks people shit that they like tell them stuff that's not true.
Yeah,
that's fucking hilarious to me. And like if we could get people just like some like, because I walk by these people all the time and I'm like, that guy is fucking interesting. Like I don't know what it is, but I want to know what that guy's been through. And just having him talk on the microphone would just make my day. So I think we should do definitely, especially in Irvington during that Halloween thing, would be cool.
That's a good move.
There's all these different festivals going on in the summertime and different things that we can.
And we've got the portable recorder for sure, so it's really easy to do, and captures good sound.
And if you go down to James Dant and get your shop on, you can go get yourself a beer right afterwards at Black Acre Brewery, or if you want a slice of pizza and or a whole pizza, because their pizza's the bomb. Giacomo's Pizza has this like Asian inspired peanut butter. What is it?
It's Thai, I think.
Thai peanut.
Yeah, Thai peanut pizza, and it's the bomb. And that place is great. They always got good beer on tap as well. I know there's a restaurant to the left of, like if you're facing your store to the left, I forget what it's called though.
It's the Legend. Yeah. And then we just had Ishka open up, which is like Mexican Aztec inspired.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Anytime you throw another culture in there, like Aztec or whatever, I'm like, oh, I gotta try that.
Yep.
I don't know what that fucking means, but I'm gonna
none of
try
us could say it for the first month they were open until we asked the owners, because it's IXCA, and it's like that doesn't compute.
Yeah,
but
that doesn't work in my brain.
It's a really cool space.
How do you say that?
Food.
Ishka. Like you already said it, but like I'd already forgotten. So I was like trying to think of how that works, but all right.
There's big news too for the area. We have the first bar. So there was like this covenant put in place when Irvington was first developed that no one could serve liquor, and I think within the next couple months this place is going to open. That's going to be the first place in the Irvington coordinates to serve liquor.
Do you already know the people that are doing it?
Yeah, kind of. So do you guys know like Cluster Truck and Salesforce even?
Right.
Cluster Truck is like a awesome name.
Yeah. The guy who opened or started Salesforce or whatever it was before and sold it to Salesforce has been working with restaurants. So we have the Mug over there as well, and it's in that little strip, and he's just investing a bunch of money into Irvington.
That's awesome.
And do you think that
we need to get that guy?
Yeah, sure. Anybody.
Yeah, he popped in the other day. He heard about us on another podcast. So.
Nice.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's is how that stuff works, and people getting people's name out there. And like we've talked about this so many times, like helping each other. You're helping us by being on here and talking about your business. And I guess technically we're helping you by getting the word out there, but I'm not sure how much we're doing that.
I mean, you'll see.
Every little
see.
bit helps. So
Oh,
hopefully my dream is for someone to walk in your store and be like, "Hey, I heard about you guys on Juice in the Morning." That would be the goal.
Content is king. Like
But
it
that
really
and like
is.
it can't hurt.
And yeah,
I mean,
it's like that's last year we had a little bit of a bumpy road because we opened the new side and we thought all these awesome things were going to happen and it just would happen naturally because that's kind of what happened originally. Like if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
But it turns out like the older you get and the more people know about you, like the more you have to be in front of them, even like
almost
to
to
double down on it. So
I just don't think enough people know about. That's what like I know I've said this like 5 times on this podcast, but like not enough people know that the store is there and like it was such a eye-opening thing for me when I first walked in. Like I know I've said this like 6 times, but I just want more people to know that there are stores out there like that. So
if we dropped ourselves in a mall, like everyone would know.
I agree.
But that's kind of the like beauty of it.
It's almost like selling out to a little bit.
I have people contact me all the time about opening a second one or doing something like that, and it's like you don't really understand the concept then if you're asking me to open a shop in the mall. Like,
and you're doing good stuff with the Fountain Square stuff like you did yesterday, and taking a little like a little kiosk or whatever you want to call it, like a booth out to certain places.
Pop-up shop
we
type
had
thing?
stopped kind of, they're little booths. We do vendor booths, but we do pop-ups in other places. But we had stopped doing all of that because I was like, I want to just be in my space and be here and enjoy the space. But it ultimately was like, well, we didn't really bring anybody new into the store, and we really need to be putting ourselves out there. So this year, like we're doing Yelp events. We have a Yelp event coming up this month on the 15th. I think there's probably there is a page for it on Yelp where you can like sign up and
awesome.
come out, and so that's our
and
thing
you said that's
this
the
year is
15th of June.
just implementing ourselves into Indianapolis, like putting ourselves back into the community. So and we're happy to be here.
We've even thought about doing like a booth somewhere and just promoting the podcast by giving out shirts and stickers and hopefully hats at some point and stuff like that. And just I think it'd be cool to go to like a festival like what you were at in Fountain Square yesterday and just chill at a booth all day. I wouldn't have a problem with doing that, especially promoting something that I believe in. So
and I saw so many people yesterday that I either haven't seen for like 2 or 3 years that used to come in the store, or just brand new people that had no idea we were there. So it's like it really is a good thing to get yourself out there.
Do you feel like Fountain Square is like a bigger version of where Irvington's going? Like it's kind of the same, because Fountain Square wasn't always this big thing that everyone talked about.
And like even 5 years ago, it was when we opened, it was still really developing.
Yeah. And I don't know all the stores that in that 5 years, like that Hotel Tango I know is like just on the outskirts, like right over the bridge or whatever. But it's one of the things
that's Fletcher Place, but that also helps that they have like 2 communities right there.
With the chill water or whatever, or what's
Chili Water.
Yeah,
I looked at that space. I was going to open James Dant in that space.
Oh, nice. And then there, the arcade bar too, Tappers.
I love that place.
Cool. Yeah. So like that is cool. That I never thought of it that way. That those two things are like so close to each other. And, and if you're like hitting up Fountain Square, you could easily walk down to like Bluebeard and all those different places.
That's another like go to that Tinker Street like restaurant wise.
Yeah, is Tinker, is that coffee?
Tinker is coffee, but a ton of people in the city have been using this name. It was a street. It's 16th Street now. It used to be called Tinker, and so a lot of people just jumped on that name. It's a cool name.
It is, yeah.
So like there's Festiva over there now. It's a little further down 16th. But Tinker, Milktooth is awesome as well over in Virginia.
I haven't been there yet. I've heard
there's so
cool.
many good pockets and so many good restaurants. Like
and hopefully
I think to answer the question, like Irvington is, there's a few things that keep us from blowing up like Mass Ave did. Like they're never going to build a 6-story like condo complex right there in the center of Irvington. But and that's kind of good, because I feel like that's a little bit of what takes away from the small town hometown feel of Irvington. But we are on the path. Like there's this really cool lodge going back to like the scariness, the weirdness of Irvington Halloween Fest. It's called the 666 Lodge. It's been there for freaking ever, and it just got bought out by new owners who are really into like flipping it and turning it into something. So Irvington Vinyl just got bought by new owners. They're gonna put in a little like Tapper style place, but with consoles.
Nice.
So you can go in and play like Atari and all that stuff.
Awesome.
And so there's some good change happening.
I'm happy for that because like as much as I love Fountain Square, it's like a little bit of a trip for me living on like the far east, like almost Greenfield, and it's even for you. Mm-hmm. So it's nice that eventually we'll have this place where we can just kind of little 10-minute drive,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there we are in like a nice
drive
little.
out here.
Because me and the lady go to Giacomo's and obviously stop through your store, and I don't go to Blackacre too often because I got a little one and she can't come in there, but I do stop in there and get a little bullet or whatever it might be. So
Growlers.
yeah, that's where it's at. I'm excited to see where I think you're in a good spot, man. I think that area is growing and you're like right dead center in the middle of it, so it's kind of crazy the things that are to come with that area. So.
Yeah, I think we're about there.
Yeah.
So I've had a good time with you guys. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming back, Ryan.
Oh yeah, I'll be back here next Sunday.
Sweet.
In a couple of weekends.
Yeah, I'll see you guys in a couple months.
No, and I appreciate everybody that's listening. Maybe people watching. This has been one of those episodes that I really enjoy because it's something different that we haven't had before. So,
Yeah, I really
awesome.
appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, and we have a crazy list of people for the rest of the month and the rest of the summer. Definitely keep listening because there's some stuff that I haven't even told Shane about that we're gonna get into.
Nice.
So,
and thanks for helping us kick off this whole living in Indiana thing, kind of, and trying to just like really hone in on places people can go and that's perfect thing to kick it off with.
Yep.
And then like you'll just be kind of like the thing we started with, and we'll go from there.
Inaugural episode.
Yeah, there we go. And honestly, come back anytime. And
sure.
And thanks again, Mark, for the rad ass board that we have up on our wall.
I'll be doing quite a
I'm
bit.
not going to be able to forget that. Like every time I hear somebody say badass, that's going to pop into my mind now.
And then, so this has been a great episode.
Yeah.
What do you think, Shane?
You mean the phrase? Okay. We hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Thanks everybody for coming on, and hopefully the juice is worth the squeeze.
I forgot one thing. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I just want to go out of my way to say thanks to all the other podcasts that have kind of been a part of us, because I feel like they always have mentioned us, and I always forget to throw them out there. So Smugcast, Pointless Discussions, The Monday American,
PTO Unlimited
podcast. I'm wearing their shirt today. Just want to say thanks to all of them because they're sharing us with their audience, and those people are coming to listen to us. So
I wore that to my orientation the other day, my PTO Unlimited shirt, and they were like, "What is that?" And then I had this 40-minute conversation with this lady about well, I'm on a podcast. She's like, "Oh, really?" And she was like,
"What's a podcast?"
I don't know if she was thoroughly enjoying what I was saying, or she was just being polite. But I was like, "Let me tell you," and then it went on from there.
And we also have business cards coming too, so I can't wait
I'm
for
excited
that.
about that.
I can't wait to be able to pass them out.
The
to
guy
people.
from I'm not sure what his name is, but the guy that works with you, he has a podcast.
Yeah.
And I think it's called the Pregame
podcast.
Yeah, we'd like to do something with those guys because anything
Absolutely.
with podcasts in the community, and I did get his Instagram, so we'll send him a message or whatever. But he's the one that actually gave us the idea for business cards, because he's like, "Oh, I don't have any on me right now, but I would give you one." And I was like, "Well, this guy's got business cards.
Yeah.
We need to get on that." And then I told him, and next thing I know, he's showing me rough drafts and all kinds of stuff. So,
and it's $9 for 500 of them.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can do that.
Yeah. They've done really well for themselves.
I
they
heard,
were working with
Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee, Michael Smith, or Michael A. I don't know, one of those guys.
Stephen
from
A.
ESPN.
Smith?
Not Stephen A. The other one who
Michael
he's on with
Rappaport?
Janelle. They have
It's definitely not Rappaport. Rappaport's he's on the he's the dredges of society now.
Yeah, because he fucked up with Barstool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once again though, thanks for everybody listening. The song that they kept teasing me with during the Four Horsemen concert, they would play the lick and the guy would say, "I don't sing that," is the song we're going out to today. Thanks guys. Have a good evening.